Welcome to all for this article regarding space gun. First, we know that what is a space gun? It's a method of launching an object into space using a large gun or cannon. So, space gun provide a method of non-rocket space launch. It could also launch spacecraft beyond Earth gravitational pull and into other parts of the solar system by exceeding Earth escape velocity of about 11.20 km per second. Therefore, a more likely future use of space guns would be to launch objects into low Earth orbit, at which point attached rockets would be fired or the objects could be collected by maneuverable orbiting satellites. The principle of a space gun is a particle beam weapon would be able to generate power many times more destructive than any laser in development. Such a weapon could essentially be composed of two parts, a power source and an accelerating tunnel. If a functional particle beam weapon could be built, it would use its power scope to accelerate electrons, protons, or hydrogen atom through the tunnel, which would focus these charged particles into the beam that would be fired at the target. The bolt of energy fired from the particle beam weapon would enter into the target materials, passing the energy onto the atoms that compose the target. This impact would be like a cue ball striking a racket group of billiard balls on a pool table. The rapid increase in the target object's temperature would cause the object to explode in a matter of seconds following the impact. The major of obstacles in developing a functional particle beam weapon has been creating a power source that is light enough to put into space, but that can produce millions of electron volts of power and tens of megawatts of beam power. Hence, with regards to being used as a means of transporting humans into space, the G forces involved to enable a human carrying projectile to reach escape velocity would be too much for the human body to endure. For other objects like friend are particularly robust or rugged satellites, etc. The space guns could be an interesting and cheaper alternative to rockets. And the military artillery cells today have GPS, laser guidance optics, and electronics that survive these accelerations. So it can be done. Obviously, not everything can be launched this way, but the gun launch is well suited for launching fuel and building materials. The main problem for a disadvantage of a space gun for reaching space with this technology is finding ways to maintain the very high velocities needed to reach escape velocity. The main enemy here for the technology is air resistance and aerothermal heating that can and will significantly degrade any projectile velocity over time. Punching through the lower part of the atmosphere at a high speed is an intense heat transfer problem, but ablative coating and heat shield on the nose of the projectile should be up to the job. The another major problem in developing and executing the space gun is most of the countries may be able to use this invention for destroying their enemy countries' ruthless and their satellites and space stations that leads to a war.